Miriam, a 15-year-old girl, lived in a small village near the Sea of Galilee. Life had become challenging since her mother passed away. As the eldest, Miriam had taken on the responsibility of caring for her younger siblings and helping her father maintain their small home. Despite her young age, she carried the weight of her family's struggles. Every day was a struggle. Miriam would wake up early to prepare food, clean, and look after her siblings before helping her father. No matter how much she worked, it never felt like enough. She often found herself overwhelmed, unsure if she could keep going. One evening, after an exhausting day, Miriam sat by the lake, staring out at the water. The sun was setting, casting a warm glow over the landscape, but her heart felt heavy. How am I supposed to do this? Miriam thought to herself. I'm only 15, and my family is depending on me. I try, but I'm not strong enough. As she sat there, lost in thought, she overheard some villagers walking by, speaking excitedly. They mentioned that Jesus, the teacher and healer, was in their village. They spoke of his kindness, wisdom, and the many miracles he had performed, healing the sick, comforting the weary, and giving hope to the hopeless. Miriam had heard of Jesus before, but she had never met him. The stories of his compassion made her wonder if he could help someone like her. She hesitated, unsure if her problems were important enough to bring to Jesus, but something inside her urged her to go. She stood up, feeling a small spark of hope. Maybe Jesus could help her. Miriam made her way to the market, where a crowd had gathered around Jesus. As she approached, she saw him in the center, speaking gently to the people. His words were comforting and full of peace. "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest," Jesus said. Miriam felt a connection to his words. She was weary, burdened by the weight of her family's struggles. But as she stood at the edge of the crowd, she hesitated. There were so many people. Would Jesus even notice her? Would he care about her problems? As if sensing her hesitation, Jesus looked directly at her. His eyes were kind and filled with understanding. With a gentle smile, he motioned for her to come closer. Miriam's heart raced as she stepped through the crowd. When she finally stood before him, she felt nervous, unsure of what to say. "Lord, I'm trying so hard to take care of my family," she said softly. "But it's too much for me. I don't know if I can keep going." Jesus listened patiently, his expression full of compassion. "You are carrying many burdens, my child," Jesus said gently, "but you are not meant to carry them alone." Miriam looked up at him, tears in her eyes. "But if I don't, who will?" she asked. Jesus smiled kindly. "Your heart is full of love, but you must also trust in God's care. He does not leave you alone in your struggles. Just as God cares for the birds in the sky, he cares for you. Trust in him, and he will give you strength." Miriam felt a wave of peace wash over her as Jesus spoke. The heavy weight on her heart seemed to lift. For the first time in a long while, she felt hope. "Thank you, Lord," she said, her voice filled with gratitude. "I will try to trust more." Jesus blessed her, saying, "Go in peace, my child. God will provide for you." Miriam returned home that evening with a lightness in her heart. She knew her challenges hadn't disappeared, but now she understood that she didn't have to face them alone. God was with her, and he would guide her through every difficulty.